All right, for here we are going to be looking at solving multi-step equations. So this is more than just a two-step equation, but quick review on two-step equations just to make sure we're all caught up and ready to go. So our example is going to be solve 2x minus 1 equals 21. With this, we know that x is being multiplied by 2 and subtracted by 1. So we're going to undo the multiply by 2 and the subtract by 1. So that way we can get x equals and then the value that makes the equation true. So for undoing the minus 1, we are going to add 1. This is to both sides, although effectively we just look at the 21 here. So 2x minus 1 plus 1, the minus 1 plus 1 goes away, so we just have the 2x equals. And then again, all we're really looking at is 21 plus 1 makes 22. Now that we have undone the minus 1 with a plus 1, we're going to undo times 2 with a divide by 2. So when we divide by 2, 2x divided by 2 just makes x, which is what we were shooting for. Again, we're just really looking at this right-hand side for this equation. 22 divided by 2 makes 11. So 11 is the value for x that makes the equation true. Now that we've reviewed that, we can move on to some more complicated ones. This one is going to be using the distributive property. So we do want to clean up the equations before we get to actually solving them. So in this case here, we're going to do the distributive property. So we're going to do 2 times x and also 2 times negative 3, or minus a 2 times 3. So depending on how you look at it. So 2 times x, that makes 2x. And then we have the 2 times negative 3, or 2 times 3 that you're subtracting. It's a minus or subtract 6. And that's still going to equal 12. Now this equation here looks just like that one that we just finished doing. So our steps are going to be the same. We're going to undo the minus 6 and the times 2 on the x. So again, we're shooting for x equals and then the value. So in order to get x by itself, we're going to undo the times 2 and the minus 6. So in order to undo the minus 6, we're going to do a plus 6. Now this is to both sides. However, it really is only going to affect the 12. So we're doing a 12 plus 6. Again, if you're working these using mental arithmetic, you just imagine the minus 6 goes away, just leaving you with 2x, and then the 12 plus 6 actually you have to calculate makes the 18. So now we still got to undo the times 2, so we're going to do a divide by 2. So 2x divided by 2 just makes x, and then again we're just working the right hand side. 18 divided by 2 is going to make 9. And that's all there is to it as far as that goes there. Distribute first, and then you got to undo the operations that's being done to the x to isolate x, get it by itself, however you want to look at it. Other example here, this is going to be using adding like terms. So here we have 2x plus 3x plus 6 equals 16. So again, we do want to clean up the equation before we really get into solving. So we are going to add like terms. We're going to simplify, clean it up. So as far as like terms go, it's just the 2x and the 3x we need to add together. This left-hand side, that's all to clean up. So 2x's plus 3x's is going to make 5x's. We still have the plus 6 and equals 16. So that's still there. Again, now it looks just like our very first example, where we're going to undo what's being done to the x. In this case, we're going to undo the plus 6 and the times 5. So that way we end up with x equals and then whatever the value is. So here we go. So undoing the plus 6 with a minus 6. Again, in our brains, we don't have much to do on this left-hand side. We know it's just going to be 5x equals. And then we're really effectively, especially if we're doing mental arithmetic here, 16 minus 6 is the only calculations we really need to do, and that makes 10. We still have to undo the multiply by 5, and that's going to be with a divide by 5. So we already know that's going to leave us with x on the left-hand side. 5x divided by 5 just makes x. And so as far as our arithmetic goes, it's going to be a 10 and divided by 5, and that's going to make it 2. So 2 is the value for x. That makes this equation true. All right, so when we're solving these multi-step equations, we start out by simplifying. In the two examples we did, that was either distributing or adding like terms. On some, you'll have to do both. On some, one or the other. And then from there, you'll have a two-step equation that you're going to solve just like we did on that very first example. So we're going to undo the number being multiplied to the x, and we're going to undo the number that's being added or subtracted to the x. And that's all there is to it. After you got it down, it normally goes pretty straightforward. All right, thanks for watching. I hope this helps.